Hello everybody, this is Chris Michaels coming at you from the Arthur Murray studio here in Crows Nest, Sydney, Australia. And welcome to another video, this time working on our upper body lines in our Cuban motion. So this is our stage 3, our part 3 of our 3-part series. First part, we talk about staccato. Hopefully you've been practicing stage 2, which was working on straightening the supporting leg without releasing the hip. My hyperextended technique of getting your body used to the introduction to rhythm, which is having something happening in between the footwork. Now remember, our feet will always remain staccato. What happens in between is the rhythm. And we're gonna just work on a very quick little exercise today, which is upper body. So let's get into it. Okay, upper body rhythm. Well, what can I say about upper body rhythm? This is one of these techniques that really, it's like the rubbing, which is the rubbing here and tapping your head, or the other one. It's trying to do two things at the same time. My best advice is that hopefully your stage 1 of your Cuban motion, which is your staccato, should be fairly well on its way, which means that you're not taking too much thought process into what you're doing. Stage 2, yes, you'll be thinking a lot about it. I would suggest that you practice this with stage 1 because what you can do is not really focus on too much on what's going on here, but what we're doing up here. Okay, so hopefully this will be working automatically and we can focus on our top body. Now this is a very hard one to explain. The activation of your top body rhythm, whether it be any movements that you're doing forward or backwards, it involves something happening from the top part. I can't just bend my hips and move forward and go, oh look, I'm doing my Cuban motion. The idea is that I need something happening on the top line to make my body look like it's completely rhythmical from the top to the bottom. Whether it be my head staying in the same position, me tilting my shoulders, which gives me a completely different look. This contorting or isolating different parts of the body is a fairly tough thing to get your brain around. But what we're going to do is just talk about what I would think is the easiest way to think about it, and that is using the lateral part of your back or your muscles, your lats. Okay, this is the muscle that runs from your shoulders all the way down through the side of your rib cage, connects your shoulders blades to your muscles here. Okay, so these lats here, they go right up under the armpit. Now, I actually think of it as an armpit movement, but what I am actually doing is squeezing that part of my arm. I'm squeezing the under part of my arm into my lateral muscle, or I'm tensing my lateral muscle. And you can see as I do this, things are happening. Okay, so if I just stand still and just move my hips, no matter how hard I move my hips, that's as far as they're gonna go. Okay, but if I do something from the top line, you can see my hips move automatically. I'm not doing anything with my hips. I'm not bending my knees. I'm not straightening my knees. I'm just tightening the lateral muscle. And as that does, every other muscle, it reacts, which is obviously, the hip is part of this muscle as well. So as I do that, you'll find that I strengthen or I tighten this one up, and you can see my hip wants to roll. Now this is what I'm going to be doing as I'm doing my motion. When you start doing motion, the important part is that your hips are going to go one way. What you want is your shoulders not to go in that same direction. So if I take a forward step, I don't want that to happen. What I want is to take the forward step, throw my hips as far as I can, bring my shoulders back around again. This gives me my stance, or the look of top line rhythm. So again, what I'm doing is tightening those muscles. So again, if you just sit there and just put your arms together here and just slowly tense this muscle here without doing any movement, you'll find that my hip starts to move. If I do it with the left, that starts to work. So again, I'm tightening that, and that hip wants to go, and let the hip go. Because what I'm doing now is I'm activating muscles under the arms, which control all the back muscles, all the striation through the lower back here. Your obliques, okay, that's one of the biggest important parts, especially when you do samba. This muscle here will get used beyond what you would expect. because not only is it working on the round, but it's working on the up part as well. So it's focusing on lifting my hip and not doing it through the feet. So I'm actually absorbing that impact through my oblique muscles here, my abdominals. Okay, so if you want to just try this, we have basic, and again, male or female, doesn't matter, starting with your left foot and just working on that staccato box that we did just a minute ago. Slow, quick, quick, and if you want to just do all slows and slows and slow, that's perfectly fine. Now when I step forward and I'm working on my motion, what I want to do is pull down on this muscle. Doesn't mean I'm doing this, but you can see if I go slow and then activate that muscle, do you see what's happening to my hip? It's really wanting to roll. And that has nothing to do with the amount of pressure that I'm putting back in the back of my knee, straightening that hip, straightening the knee, pushing forward, has nothing to do with that. I'm actually just going to stop, and I'm going to activate that muscle, and you're going to find that's going to really push that hip backwards. Slow. Okay, and you can see how I've just changed my line without doing anything yet. If I go to the side, slow. Now if I activate that muscle, you can see what happens. As I strengthen this part, what I'm telling my hips to do is go away from my body. Don't rotate your shoulders with it. So try and keep a steady action and just tighten this muscle here, and you'll see that hip rotates right around. Now as I take the side together, right arm activates. Take a back step. This is where it really helps. Back, left arm. You can see as I do that left arm, the hip really wants to straighten, and that's one of the easiest ways to take a back step, because if I try to straighten that arm, it won't work anymore. It's all through my right. So if I take a back step and at the same time, slow, activate that. You can see, bang, pull that hip there. Side step, together, rotate, take a forward step, slow, right arm, slow, left arm. So as you do your motion, you can think of doing it in those step forms. So I have my slow, my slow, my slow, and as I do it, I can go slow, activate, slow, activate, slow, activate. And so what I'm doing is thinking about every movement that I'm doing. Again, like I said, it's kind of this, because as I'm stepping forward my left, I'm activating my right, because I'm trying to throw my right hip backwards. So, right armpit, lateral, tense, slow. And you'll find that you'll land in it very quickly. But again, I would suggest that you practice this in that step form that we're working on when we're working on our hyperextending through the hips, which is take every 2 counts, and in the middle of the 2 counts, add the extra thing that I'm trying to learn. So if I'm just doing staccato, it's easy because everything happens at the same time. If I'm doing stage 2, it's staccato, straighten knee, staccato, straighten knee. If I'm doing body work, then I'm going to go revert back to my staccato, because again, I don't want to add 3 layers to this yet. So I will go slow and activate the shoulders. Slow, activate, slow, activate, slow, activate. And that's without extending yet. So if I'm not going slow, activate, activate, and that will be 3 stages in one movement that you'll do. And slowly, slowly, as you do this movement, 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll find that that's where my rhythm's going to start coming into play. 1, 2, 3, 4, because there's no stopping in that rotation during my staccato footwork. My hip keeps moving during every single count. Now, that's a lot of work, because there's a lot of little fine points from A to Z that I've got to worry about. So the easiest thing now is just to think about A, B, or A, B. And that's what I'm going to focus today on, is lateral work. And again, this you can add to every dance. So if I'm dancing mambo and it's staccato, 2, 3, 4, why not add 2? And you can find that as I take my 2 count, 2, and I activate that right shoulder, rather than just going 2, 3, 4, which is a fantastic motion to have, by the way, better than this. But if I'm doing 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. And as I hit 2, I activate that right shoulder. You can see instantly how much of a stronger line I get. And this is what I'm talking about. Rhythm dancers are strong dancers. I can't be too flighty about it. I can't be too prissy about it. So the idea is that 2, I'm really hitting that right arm. 2, left arm, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, or 2, 3, 4. And as you can see, as I dance, normally, especially in shine movements, this is how I want my body to react. So if I'm taking a forward step, slow, the one thing that I want to be doing here is bringing that right arm in, and these become my walks. So if I'm walking in rumba, slow, slow, and I want to activate this, slow, slow, you can see that as I squeeze that armpit in, my arm reacts, and this is what gives me my top lines and my arm styling that I can do wherever I'm in a solo position. So, recapping very quickly, we have our staccato footwork, our staccato hips. 1, activating the shoulders on the 2 count. 1, activating just the shoulders on the 2 count, and you'll find that you'll start exaggerating through your top line. And if I'm doing cha-cha, same thing. So again, cha-cha, cha-cha-cha, cha-cha-cha, cha-cha-cha. And all I did was squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And that gives my hips more rotation. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, stage 3 or part 3 of our 3-part series on Cuban motion. Stage 1, staccato. Stage 2, hyperextension. Stage 3, upper body rhythm. Remember, practice them in those stages. I would practice my top part of my rhythm with my staccato, which is our part 1 series. So if you have any questions, or if you find that you're losing things, don't stress out. You can leave a message on the Facebook or on the YouTube, and I can get onto that for you. But hopefully we should be back to actually conducting some video lessons in the near future. We'll be getting some green lights, which is very, very exciting, but only 2 or 3 teachers at a time, because we only have 3 rooms in the studio. So keeping that safe. What do they call it now? Not social distancing, but personal distancing. Okay. Stay safe, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.